The voice of the drum calls. It sings a song of those who came before us and those to come. A song of survival and strength. A song of participation and voice. A song that calls us together. When we come together and participate in the 2010 census, we use this tool as the voice of all our Native people. Our voice. It is in our hands. 2010 census.
Hello, I'm Kimberly Acosta. Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on Friday, May 7th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A memo of understanding will be held May 13th with New Mexico's 23 tribal leaders and the University of New Mexico. The memo of understanding outlines shared interest in their primary areas, including increased enrollment of American Indian students at UNM, an increase in the student success rate, and enhanced and expanded visibility of UNM in tribal communities. When University of New Mexico's president, David Schmidle, came in August of 2007, he made a personal commitment to New Mexico tribal leaders to regard issues and opportunities specific to the American Indian community a priority, said Pamela Agoyo, Director of American Student Services. President Schmidle continues to ensure that the institution does all it can to support the success of Native American students, as well as advancing program components that highlights the tremendous work of talented UNM American Indian faculty and staff. Beginning May 17th, Montana State University offers an online Native American Studies course that explores the unique arts of North American indigenous peoples. The course is appropriate for educators, graduate students, and those interested in Native American art and culture. The course, titled American Indian Art Survey, runs May 17th through August 6th and is taught entirely online. Students will examine Native American artworks and the political, cosmological, religious, and spiritual values of the cultural groups that created them. To enroll in the course, students must have completed a bachelor's degree, but do not need to be currently enrolled in the MSU graduate degree program. For more information or to enroll in the course, visit Montana State online at eu.montana.edu/online. Select all online courses and then Native American Studies. A photographer claims Firelight Media's documentary We Shall Remain, Wounded Knee, used her photos of the violent 1973 standoff without her permission and without giving her credit. And Pearse-Hocker, who says she took the pictures under direct automatic weapons and rifle fire at considerable risk to her own life and safety, accuses the independent film production company of copyright infringement. In 1996, she says she gave the pictures to the National Museum of the American Indian, but retained ownership of the copyrights. She claims Firelight gained permission to use the pictures from the Smithsonian institutions to make a documentary which Firelight released in February of 2008. She claims the documentary was broadcast on PBS and is available for purchase through the PBS website and from Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Borders. Pearse-Hocker says she also filed a copyright claim against the Smithsonian in the U.S. Court of Federal Claims for handing over her copyright pictures to Firelight. She wants Firelight Media to stop broadcasting her photos, to return all hard copies, and delete electronic copies. She also wants compensatory damages of up to $150,000. Cherokee Nation Chief Chad Smith and local leaders have led a groundbreaking ceremony for the restoration of the American Indian Tribe's former national prison. Tribal officials say that the ceremony held May 6th was the start of a process that will restore the prison structure and turn the facility into a museum. The Cherokee Nation prison was the only penitentiary building that is in what then was Indian Territory from the completion in 1875 until 1901. The building now is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Smith says the project shows that the tribe's commitment to preserving its culture through restoration of historic sites. The tribe also operates the Cherokee National Supreme Court Museum in a building built in 1844. A college diploma can be just a piece of paper, but it can also be much more. It's what you do with the diploma that really matters. That's the message Haskell Indian Nations University graduate Maria Hinton passed on to a group of outstanding students in the university's casino management class on May 6th. My grandmother always said, "Go to school," said Hinton, who now lives in Oneida, Wisconsin. Hinton, 99, is Haskell's oldest living graduate and earned her diploma in the 1920s. She witnessed football player Jim Thorpe kick a field goal on the Haskell football field. It was a different time then, she said, when boarding schools were the only option for American Indian students, and schools worked to pull Native traditions out of the children's lives. Hinton is just a month away from celebrating her 100th birthday. She said her work on the recently finished Oneida Dictionary is more noteworthy than any birthday, though. She recently put the finishing touches on a one-of-a-kind Oneida Dictionary, complete with 12,000 audio files, thousands of Oneida words, and life stories. The Leech Lake and White Earth Restoration tribal governments announced an 1855 treaty rights public information presentation at Diamond Point Park Pavilion from 1 to 3 on May 14th, one day before the fishing opener, next to the American Indian Resource Center in Bemidji State University. Tribal leaders will host a collaborative public forum to help educate the greater public about the 1855 Anishinaabe or Chippewa treaty rights, reserved rights, and inherent rights as an alternative to a fishing protest to bring greater understanding and awareness. In partnership with tribal nations, professional golfers, and community residents, the Nota Begay III Foundation and members of the Pueblo of San Felipe broke ground on the first phase of a $750,000 soccer field and community park on the reservation, the first of its kind in the community. The NB3 Foundation also awarded a $500,000 grant to the Pueblo of San Felipe, which will be used to build the synthetic turf soccer field and community park. The park will serve as the Pueblo's first recreational facility in its history. The Pueblo committed $250,000 of its own tribal funds toward the project. The new field and park also will be the future home for the San Felipe Soccer Club, a program that the NB3 Foundation had operated since 2005 for 200-plus Pueblo youth. The club is the only regular after-school program in existence in the Pueblo. This construction project aids the NB3 Foundation in its mission of preventing obesity and diabetes and advancing the lives of Native American youth through sports programming. Buffy Sainte-Marie was honored with the Governor General's Performing Arts Award for Lifetime Artistic Achievements in Ottawa. The award is Canada's foremost distinctive for excellence in the performing arts. Buffy is best known for things like her iconic 60s anti-war anthem, Universal Soldier, winning the Oscar for co-writing the 80s soundtrack hit Up Where We Belong, breastfeeding her son on the screen for Sesame Street, or crossing paths over the years with folk luminaries like Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, and Neil Young. But what Buffy managed to achieve away from the stage or red carpet, usually completely alone, is a major part of why her career is being celebrated with a Governor General's Performing Arts Award. She calls it her double life, shuttling between the spotlight and sometimes virtually invisible Aboriginal communities across North America. Buffy made a career out of bringing awareness of the Aboriginal way of life and its struggles to the mainstream, making her one of the world's best-known Aboriginal artists in the process. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.